Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming, and as usual I'm going to make a small video about something gaming related. We're in Watch Dogs Legion. We're in an area of East London, quite a way out from the centre of the city, nowhere special, but just one of the things I wanted to note, you just saw the people standing around there, and one of the things I really like about this game is, regardless, I haven't done anything, I've literally just come into the game and loaded up. So one of the things I really like about this game is you can go to any area, any place, any time, and these things are happening, real things happening with NPCs that aren't anything to do with you. They're caused by either the police or the Albion. They're in this, the enforcement guards. I was in the game yesterday and I was just going down the street and there were two people fighting over nothing to do with me. They were just fighting about some personal issue, and that's what I like about this game. There's always things going on, and they're not just to do with what you do. And I don't think I've ever played a game like that. I know I'm always banging on about Watch Dogs Legion, but I don't think I've ever played a game where you go in and you go to a normal area of NPCs, Cyberpunk, Witcher, and other than scripted events of your character, there's anything going on other than they're just farming or behind a store serving. But in this game they're all actually doing things, and you can go anywhere and find someone doing something completely different. Anyway, that's my little Watch Dogs Legion promo done. So what I want to talk about today is the release of the PS5 Pro. Now, I'm not a tech person and this isn't that kind of channel. I understand basics, but I'm certainly not going to go into a whole in-depth thing about what the console does and doesn't do, and what the CPU and GPU and all those upgrades are, and ray tracing, because I know what they are, but it's not my thing. People could do it better than me, and I'm sure they do it more accurate than me, so that's not my thing. But I'm just going to do it from, again, as a person that's always had PlayStations, I've never had an Xbox. I'm going to just do it from my own layman's thought when I saw that. Not saw anyone's review, just what I saw. And my first thought, and this is the first thought I had, was actually not, oh my god, the price. My first thought was, oh my god, no disc. And that was disturbing because one, I think most people, certainly I do, and I think a lot of people play with discs. I download loads of stuff off PlayStation, so it's not that I only play with discs, but a lot of people still have discs. We can use backwards compatible discs from previous systems in PS5, from PS4, so you're going to have PS4 discs. Some of the games may not be on PS5, so most people have discs, and I think, and also obviously PlayStation plays movies as well, so you could use a disc for a movie. So I think that was the first thing that hit me, like no disc. And number one, I know you can get a added disc drive for, I think it's like £70 or something, $70, but that's ridiculous, because if you're already paying a lot for the console and it's 700 odd, it's 699 in America and the UK, which means it's more here because the conversion rate, but you don't want to go out and buy a separate disc drive. That's ridiculously annoying. It's also a bit scary because it kind of worries me that then they're just thinking again along those lines of, we'll just do digital stuff and there's no more physical discs, and then you don't own your own game and all that kind of thing, which is a whole nother thing. But yeah, I didn't see the reason for that. I don't know why they would do that. Either it's a marketing thing to, like I said, go down the digital only route, or it's a marketing thing so you have to buy a disc drive separately and spend money. So either way, I didn't like that, and that would probably alone put me off getting a PS5 Pro if I was thinking of getting one. I'm not, but if I was, because I don't want to go out and spend separate money on a disc drive. And to be honest, it's a question of space as well. I mean, you've got, often some people have extra memory stuck in a USB port, and so you've got already got a USB backup, so you don't want extra things stuck on it coming out of each port, an extra disk drive, an extra USB backup storage. So that's another reason why I wouldn't want that. It's just one extra fiddly thing to have. So that's number one. And then of course the price, which is a lot. I wasn't as shocked as I saw some people seem to be. That's not to say I'd given it a lot of thought, but I didn't expect it to be £50 more than the PS5. I wasn't shocked that it was a lot of money. What I was shocked about, there was no disc, so they're charging a lot more money for something without a disc, where you've got to buy that separately. And you don't even get the stand, and I imagine that stand for a PS5 to physically make is like a few pounds. It's not a lot of money, it's a plastic thing. But that's kind of insulting, I think, when you're spending £700 on a console. It's bad enough if there's no disc, but the fact that there's no stand and you've got to spend $30 or pounds to buy the stand, that's kind of insulting. And I'm not going to go into whether the upgrade of the actual physical console, that is the CPU, GPU, I understand the CPU's not being upgraded, but the GPU and the ray tracing, all these other things, I'm not going to go into whether they're better or not, because it's not my thing. I think that, like, I'm on PS4 Pro at the moment, and I think for what I play, and this is Watch Dogs Legion, the graphics are great. Of course, if I had a PS5, it would be better, but you know, it gets to a point where it's like buying phones to me. And you know, if you've got all the money in the world to spend, then you know, I would buy a PS5 as well. But I haven't, and then it's a question of, well, you know, does a little bit slightly better graphics and fidelity in games, and maybe does that make a difference, or could I spend my money on something more worthwhile for my life, or just other games rather than getting a console? And for me, it doesn't really equate to wanting to upgrade. I don't think there's that many games on PS5 only that I'd really want to play. Stellar Blade, maybe the new Dragon Age coming out, but it's not many. So that's one of the reasons. But yeah, I think graphics is like, you know, like I said, it's like getting a new phone, and you get to a point where what can a phone do? Yeah, it's got a slightly better camera, but it's already got a super duper camera that's better than anything we'd have had in the past. It's got a slightly better screen, but they've already got really, you know, vibrant, amazing screens, HD, everything. It's got slightly more memory, but so it gets to a point where there's nothing more they can do other than slightly upgrade. It's like TVs. You've already got amazing TVs that would have been amazing 10 years ago, and you get slightly better ones, but it gets to a point where does it actually really matter? And to answer my own question, yes, if you have all the money in the world or spare money, I would too. I don't blame anybody for getting the best phone or the best TV or the best console. But for people on budgets or who haven't got all the money in the world, is it really worth upgrading your phone, TV or console just to get slightly more? I would say if I'd had problems with PS4 Pro playing games, and they were stuttering, or there was problems with anything, I would probably have thought about upgrading and spent the money. But other than games crashing, which happens on every console and happens on PC, I've not had any real problems with any games I've played, so I don't really see the point. But that's my choice, and everyone can choose differently. But anyway, so that's my view on the PS5 Pro. I don't see that, other than for people who've got money to burn, to be honest, it's a viable option, because most people don't have, well, £700 plus 70 if you want that, plus the stand, so you're talking about 800. And then of course some of the games, and that's another thing I considered as well, some of the games you would get on PS5 you won't already have on PS4 if you've already got that. So Stellar Blade, and they're expensive games, so once you get PS5 you've got to buy PS5 games really, and that's more expensive. I know the games you have on PS4 disc you can use in a PS5, and I know the games you have digitally you can still use them, and they will upgrade to PS5 games. But if you want new games that are PS5 only, they're expensive games, and then that's even more money. So you're not just talking about the basic outlay of the console and the hardware, you're talking about buying games, and just Stellar Blade alone is what, 50, 60 quid still, and Dragon Age Veilguard's going to be whatever. So yeah, that's my thought on that. But anyway, it's just a thought, like I said. So shocked, not about the price really, but more shocked that it doesn't have a stand, which is annoying and stupid and penny pinching, and it doesn't have a disc drive, which I think is disturbing for lots of reasons. Anyway, thanks for watching Guessagaingaming. Till next time, take care.